All right. So, good evening, everyone. Please, I hope we are all doing well. We all agreed to schedule the tutorial session for this evening, and I'm sure this is the first online tutorial session. So probably maybe before we meet for the end of sem, we can have an in-person tutorial, because I believe with the online tutorial session sometimes um, it's not purely mathematical, because there are some things maybe it should or must be written on the blackboard or on the marker board for you guys to really understand what we are really talking about. But then if it is online, maybe some concepts you can understand, but um, going to duties, working that bit, you will lose it. Yes. So the tutorial will start very soon, and of course it has to start with an introduction. So I think the time is 7:30. Yes, 37. So let's say in 3 minutes time, then we begin the official tutorial. I think by that time you will have some people or some members joining, so I think that will be fine. Yeah, so let's give ourselves like 3 minutes, then we resume and have the actual tutorial session. Okay, so thank you very much as we keep on waiting for the 3 minutes to come. So when it's exactly 7:40, we will begin the official tutorial section. All right, so please, if you can hear me, kindly comment on the chat section for me to know if you can hear me. Okay, so kindly comment that yes, I can hear you, so that I will know that I'm being heard. Yes.
But maybe I say Mumfa payments na cano and count I am for the account.
Okay, so I think I can see ACN. ACN is saying yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much, ACN. I can see Badu is also saying yes, I can hear you. I can also see Emmanuel. Emmanuel says active. Yes, so it means Emmanuel can hear me. So I think at least I have 3 people who has confirmed that I'm being heard. So I think that's fine. Yes. So let me see the time. Okay, so I think the time is almost due. Yes, the time is due. So let's proceed. Yes, let's proceed. So please, if you join the session, please you can kindly like the session. You can like that at least we know that we are all following. So please kindly like the session as you join, and also make sure that please you follow the page as well. Yeah, kindly subscribe to the channel as well, and let's make it very interactive. So I'm here. We are going to go through some things, but then I'm also here to address your key concerns. So if there is an aspect of the statistics that you think you want me to go over for you, please feel free. I'm here for you. So please make sure you just type it at the chat box. I'll read it, then I'll go over it. I'll explain with examples for you to understand it. Yes. So I think before I proceed the tutorial section, you see we have to pray because it's God. It's not our mind, so it's God. So please let's have a very short prayer. So our Heavenly Father, we thank you for this evening. We pray that Lord, you come here, guide us, give us the understanding, give us the guiding spirit, and also the discerning spirit for us to be able to understand this section that we are going to have. We pray that you come and take control and come and steer the affairs of this section so that in the end we will give your glory back to you. This and many more that we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Without you to comment, amen. We just finished praying, so just type amen so that I can hear you really followed the prayer that I just offered. All right. So before I proceed, I have to do some small introduction. Then I have to also introduce myself. But then before I introduce myself, I have to introduce the one who made this tutorial session very possible for all of you. Yes. So this aspirant called Seydou Kadari Benjamin. Yes. So Benjamin is the reason why we are all here on this platform this evening. So we are here because of Benjamin. Yes. So Benjamin Seydou Kadari. So we are here because of him. So he approached me and we had this discussion that we should have this session with you guys to help elaborate and make some key concerns very understanding for you guys. So that is why we are here. So if you are part of this session, then we know that it's because of Seydou Kadari Benjamin. That is why we are here. So he's a politics student and I think he is running for a portfolio. So please, wherever we find ourselves, as he is putting all these sacrifices to make sure that we achieve our academic aim, we should also make sure that when the election is due, we will do what in our mind to also at least just a vote. Yes, at least someone who is after your welfare, you should also be proud for the person and also support the person as well. Are you okay? Yes. So that is just a brief one. Now I'm also called Manuel. Yes. So Manuel is my name, and I am an MPhil graduate. Yes, of social work. So I'm done with my masters in social work. I am an MPhil graduate, and I work at the Department of Sociology and Social Work as a postgraduate teaching and research assistant. So I work directly with the HOD, that is Professor Esmeralda Manfo. So she's the one I work under the Department of Sociology and Social Work. So as I said, my name is Manuel and I am a social work MPhil graduate. So we are here for statistics, yes. So I'm very hopeful that at the end of the session, everybody will understand. So please, if you just join the session, kindly make sure you like the session for us, yes. And also kindly subscribe to the channel for us if you are new to this channel. Now let's proceed. Okay, so as I said, please don't forget, if you want me to clarify something on statistics for you, you can put it at the chat box. I'll read it, then I'll go over it. Right now, I'm just going to go over everything. But then maybe there's an aspect that you want me to go further or do more or dwell more on that. Please kindly make sure that you just put the chat box so that I'll just quickly glance through that and make sure I'll do justice to that for you. Okay, all right. Now I hope you all saw how the mid semester went. So with statistics, I think the good news is that in statistics it's not theory. Yes, it's not something that you will be like the senior high school where you are writing your works in mathematics, where you will be drawing, like be writing. No, Here it's just MCQs. Yes, so we will be shading, but then before you shade, you have to calculate before you shade. And I think this semester is very, very simple. I always tell my students that with statistics first semester, it is easy for someone to get 90. Someone says we can't hear you. Please, am I not audible? Someone say we can't hear you. Please let me hear me, so maybe I will adjust myself for. Please, if you can't hear me, kindly put that in the chat box so I will know that, so that I can adjust myself. Please, am I heard? I'm waiting for your comment so I will know if I'll have to adjust myself or it's okay. So, okay, so Michael said, sorry, Michelle said yes. So we can. So it means yes, I'm here. All right. So it means I'm here. All right. So please, the person who says, Frederick, if you are saying you can't hear me, then please, I'm very sure it's your network. So please, kindly do something with your network. Kindly adjust yourself more, Frederick. All right. Now, as I said, you saw how your mid semester went. So that is basically that's the end of sem will be. But then mostly the question that you saw in mid semester, the probability that some will appear in the end of sem is very, very high. Because I think at first, way back in 2020, mostly when they do the mid semester, they always add all the 30 mid semester questions to the end of sem questions. So because they know some people, they will just write it and that's all. They won't go over it again. Are you okay? So I'm very sure that that will help us. Yes. And as I always say, this semester statistics is very, very simple. If you want to get 90, even 8, you can get them because it is just theoretical. I think first semester, the only calculation aspect has to do with, let's say, probability. But even that one is not that plenty. You won't get more probability questions there. Are you okay? But then we also go through some few probability questions as well. But then, as I said, okay, someone said, can we get the missing questions? Okay, I will do my best to put up some things. I will share with Benjamin, and maybe he can share with you guys as well. Okay, yeah. So both I will do that. Okay, I will do that. But then I have areas of it, and that's where I'm going to do the explanation. Okay, so now you see. This semester is purely theoretical because you mostly have to maybe what is that. That's very, very simple. Now we okay, statistics. So someone will say, what is statistics? And I think if you really observe your mid semester, you will know how the questions were set. Are you okay? So definitely is the same approach that will come in your end of sem. But just that maybe in your end of sem, there will be more questions on probability or something like that, or even more questions on, let's say, frequency distribution and, let's say, descriptive statistics. Let me put it that way. Okay, but then basically they are all theoretical. So it means that if you put in much effort this semester, you can get 90, you can get 80, you can get any marks that you want, because this semester the calculation aspect is very, very small, unlike the coming semester. Are you okay? Okay, now I'm just going to brief what the semester is in short for us. Okay, now when we say statistics, what I want you guys to know is that when we say statistics is a science. Okay, so it's a science. So if you don't know anything about statistics, let that one. Okay, someone say, please, how many hours? So it's 2 hours. Okay, but in the 2 hours it can be 70 questions. Okay, it can be 70. That is 1:1. Yeah, so it's 2 hours for this end of sem, 2 hours. But then with the 2 hours, since it is mathematics, maybe they can give you 70 questions. And because sometimes you have to work small to get the answer, I think the 2 hours will be enough for you to do that. Okay, the midterm, we write all of them. Okay, yes, so I'll also get back to that. Okay, so we have different programs. Okay, so let's say I'm doing sociology, I am doing social work. Let's say you are doing economics. Let's say I am doing French. I am doing religious studies. Okay, the programs are different. So I think at first it was all for everybody, but now due to the different programs that we have. Some do written, some also do MCQs. But then I'm very sure that in the end of SEM, predominantly it is all MCQs. Are you okay? Yes. But then I always tell myself that if you learn the slide very well, whether it is MCQs or whether it is written, you can still do it. But I'm very confident that your NSM will be MCQs. Okay? Yes. So whatever it is, I'll do confirmation. I'll tell Benjamin, and Benjamin will roll it back to you guys on the page. Okay? Yes. So I said that statistics is a science. Yes. So it's a science of collecting, organizing, analyzing, and interpreting data in order to make a decision. So when we say statistics, statistics is the science of collecting, organizing, analyzing, and interpreting data in order to make a decision. Okay, someone say, I mean, this session, how many hours? Oh, okay. So maybe in an hour time, yes. I want to just brief you guys on something, then we are done. As I said, I'm looking up to meeting you guys in person because I believe with statistics, the best approach for you guys to really understand is when we meet in person, then I'm writing, I'm solving. So that one, I'll just tell you, okay, this and this and this is the way or the approach such kind of questions when you come. I think that one will be very, very much beneficial than this online, even though the online is also very, very impactful. Are you okay? Yes. So that is it. So that is statistics. So if you are having challenge, okay, yes. I think more about what it. Okay. Okay. So now when we say, I think statistics, everybody knows statistics. So I'm going to touch on some key areas. Now, one key area I want to touch on is the area of, I think the area of levels of measurements. Okay, so in statistics, we have something we call levels of measurements, and we have 4 levels of measurement. So we have the nominal level of measurement, we have the ordinal level, we have the ratio level, and also we have the nominal, the ordinal, the ratio, and the interval level. Okay, so these are some area that I understand. Okay, so when we say a level of measurement is nominal, it means that that level of measurement assumes numerical values, meaning that it can be counted. Okay, so let's say so that's nominal. So when we say nominal means something that cannot be counted. So it assumes non-numerical values. So an example is the marital status of someone. So if I said I am married, I am single, I am this, I am divorced, that one you cannot count it. It is just an attribute. So one's nationality, if you are a Ghanaian, you are a French, you are a this, you are a that, is an attribute. So nationality is also what? An attribute. Are you okay? Someone is saying, I don't understand permutation combinations for real. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I have a very brief video on permutations and combinations. I think even on this same channel, you can look through the videos there. I have a very short and powerful videos on permutation and combinations for you to understand. I think with permutation and combinations, the difference is very, very small because permutation deals with an order. Okay, and combination does not deal with an order. So that is just the difference between permutations and combinations. Are you okay? So let's say, let me give an example. So let's say there is a race. Okay, there is a race and you want to know who came first, second, and third. Let's say there is a race and now you want to know who came first, who came second, and who came third. That is called a permutation because there's an order. You want to know the orderliness of the race. Who came first, who came second, who came third. That is permutations. But with combination, there's no order. So let's say you enter the class and now you want 3 students to come out of the class to help you to carry something. That one is combination. That one you just need only 3 individuals. So it's not like, okay, first row, let's say first person, second row, second person. There's no order. You just need 3 individuals. But then if you enter a class and say, okay, now the first column, you want the first, second, and third person on that column, it is called permutations because there is an order. So with permutation, there's order, but then with combination, there is no order. Now, if you enter a class and you want 3 students to come out, it's combination. But then if you enter a class and you want students who are sitting on the first row, you want the first, second, and third students, it is called permutations. Okay, so that is it. So that is the difference between permutations and combinations. Are you okay? Yes. Now that is it. So let's delve into what we are discussing. Please, if you do that, you don't have to make us confused. When you get there and then you explain it. Okay, yes, I get you. I will do that. Okay, I will do what you are saying. All right. Now I was initially talking about the levels of measurement, and I'm saying that in statistics we have 4 levels of measurement. So the first level is called the nominal level of measurement. So when we say a level of measurement is nominal, it means that that measurement assumes non-numerical values, meaning that it cannot be counted. That is what a nominal level of measurement. Okay, now an example of a nominal level of measurement is the nationality of students. So nationality of students is a nominal level of measurement. So if one is a Ghanaian, one is a Togolese, one is a French, do you get it? A Congolese, this is what? One's nationality. And one nationality cannot be counted. It is just an attribute. So nationality of students is an example of what? A nominal level of measurement. Now the second example of a nominal level of measurement is, let's say one's marital status. Okay, so your marital status is also an example of a nominal level of measurement. So if someone is married, if someone is divorced, if someone is separated, this is what? It is just an attribute. You cannot count it. Okay, now another example of a nominal level of measurement is the name of a person. Okay, so your name. So your name, so if you are called, let's say Ruth. So if you are called Ruth, Ruth is just an attribute. So we cannot count Ruth. It is just a name. Okay, so name is also a nominal level of measurement. Then we also have color. Okay, so one's color. So I'm wearing a green tie here. Are you okay? So a green holder here. So this is just a color. This is also an example of a nominal level of measurement. So color is an example of a nominal level of measurement. Another example is place of birth. So if you are giving birth in, let's say, Ashanti region, northern region, is also what? An attribute. So it's also a nominal level of measurement. Okay, so that's just about a nominal level of measurement. So it assumes non-numerical values. It cannot be counted. When we say something is nominal, it means it cannot be counted. Okay, now the second level of measurement is called the ordinal level of measurement. So when we say a level of measurement is ordinal, it means that that level of measurement deals with classifications. So when something deals with classification, it means that that thing has an order. So in it. So if we are looking at ranking of something, it is what? An ordinal level of measurement. If you are looking at the satisfaction of students in a class, it's also an example of an ordinal level of measurement. Okay, so for instance, let's say there's a competition. Okay, now in that competition, we finish the competition, and now we want to know who came first, who came second, and who came third. So if you want to know who came first, who came second and third, it's an example of what? An ordinal level of measurement. So let's say there's a golf competition, golf. Now we have let's say 20 golfers. They went in for the competition, and now when they were done, we want to know who came first. So we want to know the ranking of the golfers in that tournament. So if you want to know the rankings of golfers in a tournament, it's what? It's an ordinal level of measurement. So with ordinal, there's classification, there's a rank, there's an order. Please, do we understand the ordinal? So for instance, or another example, the satisfaction of students in the class. Okay, now you see, even let's look at even our academics. You see, when you complete school, it's either first class, second class lower, second class upper, third class. You see, that is a rank. So when we are talking about rankings or we are talking about classifications, it is an example of what? An ordinal level of measurement. Please, do we understand? Please, are you good with that, with those examples of ordinal level of measurements? Please, can you put in a chat so that I will know you are concentrating? Okay, great. Now let's move on. Now that's the second one. Now the third level of measurement is called the interval level of measurement. Okay, so someone is asking a question that I said that the nominal level of measurement assumes non-numerical values. So if we say something assumes non-numerical values, it means that that level of measurement is qualitative data only. So the nominal level of measurement is qualitative data only. Okay, the nominal level is qualitative data only. The ordinal level is both qualitative and quantitative. The ordinal level is both qualitative and quantitative. Now let me give you the reason why I'm saying the ordinal is both qualitative and quantitative. Okay, now let's say there's a tournament. Okay, there's a tournament. Now let's say we have teams like Chelsea, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Arsenal, Liverpool. We have these teams. They are in a tournament. Okay, Chelsea, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Arsenal, Liverpool. They are 5. Let's say they are in a tournament. And now when they were done with the tournament, we want to know which team came first and which team came last. So you see, you can't just say the first team is, let's say, Chelsea, or the first team is Liverpool. No. You see, you write on the paper, let's say 1, Liverpool, 2, Chelsea, 3, Barcelona, 4, Real Madrid. Are you okay? Now, the numbering aspect or the numerical aspect, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, is what? Is quantitative data. And also the name of the team. Chelsea is what? Is qualitative because it's just an attribute. Chelsea is a name. Any name is an attribute and any name is qualitative. So anything that we cannot count is qualitative. So when we say ordinal is both qualitative and quantitative. So let's say you are being asked, okay, now list the first 5 best universities. If you are asked to go and list the first best 5 universities in Ghana, I don't think you will just write the university's name without numbering them. Because if you don't number them, you won't know which school is the first. Do you get it? Now you number them. 1, KNUST, of course. 1, KNUST. 2, Legon. 3, do you get it? Now, the numerical aspect, that is 1, 2, 3, represents the quantitative data. Okay? And now the name of the school, KNUST, is qualitative. So when we say ordinal, it is both qualitative and quantitative. Please, do you understand? With the examples I gave. Please, are you good with the examples I gave? All right. So please kindly, if you just join, please kindly like the session. And also, if you haven't subscribed, kindly subscribe to the page for us. Okay. All right. Now let's move on. Now the third level of measurement is called the interval level of measurement. Interval. Now when we say interval level of measurement is quantitative data only. So when we say interval, it is quantitative data only. So remember, the nominal is qualitative data only. The nominal is qualitative data only. Also, the ordinal is both qualitative and quantitative. But the interval is, okay, someone is saying, which of nominal? Okay, Joseph, I'm saying that the nominal is only qualitative. The nominal is only qualitative. Okay, and the ordinal is both qualitative and quantitative. But the interval we are going to talk about right now, so the interval is only quantitative. It means that the interval assumes numerical values. The interval level of measurement, it can be counted. Are you okay? So it deals with numbers. So as the nominal is only qualitative, the interval is also only quantitative. Are you okay? So now that's the difference between the nominal and the interval. Now if we say the interval level of measurement assumes numerical value, it means that it can be counted. But then, please, you guys should write, please, you guys. Okay. So that is the difference. Now I'm saying that the interval is only quantitative. That means that anything that can be counted or measured can be classified under the interval. But then don't forget, there is also another level of measurement called the ratio. The ratio level of measurement is also similar to the interval. So if we say the ratio level of measurement is similar to the interval level of measurement, then we are trying to say that the ratio is also quantitative. So as the interval level is quantitative, the ratio is similar to the interval. And if the ratio is similar to the interval, then it means that it is also quantitative. But then some examples under the ratio is different from some examples under the interval. So here I want you to pay critical attention here. Okay, now let's give example under the interval. Now examples that we can give under the interval level of measurement includes the age of students in the class. So age is an example under the interval level of measurement. Age of students in the class. So let's say age, or let's say age of students in the class is all the same. Now 2, the scores of students in the class. So let's say we are all in the class and we did a test. Let's say I had 7, you had 9, someone had 10. So there's IQ score of is an example of what? An interval level of measurement. So the scores of students in a class is an example of an interval level of measurement. Let's say we want to know the number of cups of coffee sold at a coffee shop. We want to know the number of cups of coffee sold at a coffee shop. That one is also interval. Are you okay? We want to know the number of students in the class is also interval because it can be counted. Okay, so age, scores of students in the class. Are you okay? The number of coffees or the cup of coffee sold at a coffee shop in a day is also an interval. Are you okay? But then when we go to the ratio level of measurement is mostly or predominantly something that is continuous. If I say something is continuous, it means that thing is measured. But then there's one continuous example that is under the interval. So listen, example like length. Okay, so length we can measure. Okay, so an example length, weight, height. Okay, so length, weight, height, they are all under the ratio level of measurement. Okay, so length, weight, height. Okay, so length, weight, height, they are all example under the ratio. But then temperature is an example under the interval. You see, temperature is also measured, but then temperature is under the interval. Why? Now someone is saying that explain why interval is no true zero. Okay, now let me give you the reason why under the interval there's no true zero. Under the interval, 0 means something. Under the interval, 0 means something. That is why temperature is an example of an interval. Now, if, let's say I'm in the office, right? Let's say, okay, right now I'm in the office and I've turned on the AC. Let's say if the AC is 0 degrees, if I put the AC on 0 degrees, I can't say that because it's 0 degrees, the room will not be chilly. When I put the AC on 0 degrees, I can't even stay here because it will be damn cold. It will be very, very cold in the room. That is why at the interval level, 0 means something. So with the interval, it has no true 0. It means that with the interval level, when we say 0, it means something. When we say the temperature of the room is 0 degrees Celsius, it doesn't mean there is nothing at all. It means there is something. Because if the room temperature is 0 degrees, it means that the room temperature is very cold. And it means you will feel it is something. But then at the ratio level, 0 means nothing. If someone's weight, if the weight of this sheet is 0, it means nothing. Okay? But then if temperature is 0, it means something. That is why temperature is an example under the interval, but not the ratio. Please, are you good? Please, are you good? Please, did you get explanations? The only way I will know you understand is when you chat at the chat box. Okay, all right. I think this explanation you have to get it very well. So now, temperature is an only example that is measured, that is under the interval. So aside temperature, anything that is measured is under the ratio level of measurement. Okay, the reason why temperature is under the interval is that under temperature, 0 means something. Because if the room temperature is 0 degrees Celsius, I can't say because it's 0, it means nothing. No, 0 means that the room will be very, very cold. And that is something. But then if I say the weight of this sheet is 0, it means nothing. Do you get it? All right. So please, these were the levels of measurement. Now, let me go to another aspect called variables. Okay, what about IQ level? Okay, so what we say, so one's IQ level falls under the interval, okay? Because if someone's IQ level is low, it means something. Okay? If someone's IQ level is 0, it means something. It's not getting the do you get it? So IQ level falls under the interval. Okay, right. So when there is no true 0, it's an interval. Because 0 with the interval level of measurement, 0 means something. 0 means something under the interval. Okay. Now let's move on to a variable. Okay. So when we say a variable is something that can be changed. Okay. So anything that can be altered or changed is a variable. But then the aspect that I want us to dwell on is the two types of variables. Now we have two main types of variables. We have a discrete variable and a continuous variable. Discrete, yes. So D-I-S-C-R-E-T-E. So discrete variable, then a continuous variable. So these are the two forms of variables, okay? Discrete variable and a continuous variable. Now I want to ask, Manuel, what is a discrete variable? So when we say a discrete variable, is a type of variable that can be counted. So anything that can be counted is classified under a discrete variable. An example, so if I want to know let's say I want to know the number of coffees or the number of pizza sold by pizza man in a day. If I want to know the number of pizzas sold by pizza man in a day, it's what? It's a discrete variable because it can be counted. They can count it that, okay, today we sold 2,000 pieces of what? Of pizzas. If I want to know, let's say, the age of students in the class, you see, age can be counted. Are you okay? Yes. And if I want to know the number of students in the class, it's also an example of what? A discrete variable. If I want to know the gallons of milk sold by a cafeteria in a day, so I want to know how many gallons of milk do they sell or use in a day, it's also what? A discrete variable. So discrete is a variable that can be counted. Okay. So yes, the ratio level is quantitative. Please, I said that the ratio, because the ratio is similar to the interval. Okay, the ratio is similar to the interval. All right. Now, as I said, that is a discrete variable. Now, the second form of variable is what? It's a continuous variable. So when we say a variable set is continuous, it simply means that that variable can be measured. So anything that can be measured is a continuous variable. Anything that can be counted is a discrete variable. So let me give an example of the continuous variable. So let's say the time it takes a student to drive to class or lectures. So the time it takes to a student to drive to lectures is what? It's a continuous variable. Why? Because time is measured. So if I want to know the time it takes a student to drive to lectures, it's what? It's a continuous variable because time is measured. Okay. If I also want to know the time it takes an athlete, okay, to run a marathon, the time it takes an athlete to run a marathon is also what? A continuous variable, because if you want to run a marathon, we use time to what? To time you, and time is measured. Are you okay? So that is also what? A continuous variable. Now, if I want to know the weight of, let's say, a book. So if I want to know the weight of this book, it's what? It's a continuous variable. Okay, because weight is measured. Weight is not counted. Okay, please, I hope you are getting me. Yes. And if I want to know the temperature within a particular auditorium, is also what? A continuous variable, because temperature is measured. Temperature is not counted. Please, do we understand? Do we understand? Yes. And another example, if I want to know the amount of injection received by a patient at Confanochi Teaching Hospital, is also what? A continuous variable. The amount of injection received by a patient at Confanochi Hospital. Why? Because the injection they measure. So you see, they will take the syringe and now they will measure, because they have a measuring scale here. Okay, maybe this patient will take, let's say, 0.5 ml. So now they will measure it and now they will inject you. So the amount of injection is a continuous variable. Please, do we understand? Please, do we understand? Please, do we understand? Okay, so that is the difference between a continuous. Someone is saying, so it means discrete. No, discrete do take decimals, because someone can be 1.5 year. Are you okay? So it means 1.5. So discrete do take what? Decimals. Okay. Please go over the types of variables. Please, I'm saying that we have two main types of variables. The first one is a discrete variable, and is a type of variable that can be counted. So any variable that can be counted is a discrete variable. An example is what? Is age. Age can be counted. Okay, age can be counted. And also, if you want to know the number of pizzas sold by pizza man in a day, is what? It's a discrete variable, because pizza is sold and it can be counted. Are you okay? It can be counted. So that is it. But then if we say a continuous variable, is a variable that is measured. So an example is what? Is if we want to know the temperature of a particular room. So temperature is measured. So temperature is an example of what? A continuous variable. If we want to know the time it takes a student to drive to class, okay, the time it takes a student to drive to class is what? It's a continuous variable, because time is measured. Oh, so a person cannot be 1.5 year. So when you were growing as a kid, what didn't you rate 1.5 year? Didn't you rate 1 year 6 months? Wow, this is a very interesting question I've seen. If you ask me how can a person be 1.5 year, I'm even surprised asking me this question. can someone be, if you have a child, can the person be 1 year 6 months? Isn't 1.5 years? Interesting question. Wow. Okay, it's fine. Let's proceed. So, I know. So, okay. Interesting. All right. So that is it. Yes. So that is it for the two types of variables. Okay. Okay. So please, if you don't get anything, kindly indicate and mention that thing so that someone say my question is not answered. Please kindly repeat the question so that maybe it has skipped me. So Nanaya, please kindly repeat your question so that I'll go over your question for you. Okay. All right. But before I go over Nanaya's questions, he said, my lecturer said discrete does not take decimals. Okay. 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 So Frederick, yes, it's true, but it depends on the example. Okay. So when it comes to age, someone can be a 1.5 year. Are you okay? Do you get it? But then, as you are saying, we will not write, let's say 1.5. Okay, we will not write, let's say 1.5. I get what I'm trying to say. But then it doesn't necessarily mean that in discrete there's no decimal. I get you, there's no decimal. But then I was just trying to let you know that someone can be 1.5 year. Frederick, I don't know if I get what I'm trying to say. Yes, but then with the decimal aspect, I do that is it. In discrete doesn't take decimal. But then one can be 1.5 year. Are you okay? But then we won't write it, let's say 1.5 as you rightfully said. Okay. Since continuous can be measured. Yes, I get it. So Nana, so yes, that is it. So let me brief you guys on something. So you see, the examples that we are giving under the two forms of variables, that's the continuous and the discrete. They are all under type of data. So you see, under types of data, we have two main types of data. Okay, we have quantitative data and qualitative data. And under the quantitative data, we have both the discrete and continuous. So under quantitative data, it can be counted or measured. But then when we come to the variable, that is where we try to break them into two, into continuous and discrete. So since continuous can be measured, it is under the ratio. But as I said, not all of them that can be measured is under the ratio. For instance, temperature is an interval level of measurement. Okay, temperature is measured, but then it's under the interval. So aside temperature, all those that is measured is under the ratio. So Nanaya, so that is it. Okay, all right. Yeah, Fred, thank you, Frederick. Yeah, it seems the variable is having a connection with. Exactly. Yes. So yes, Emmanuel. Yeah, exactly. So you see, one funny thing about what we are doing is that everything that so you see, we have types of data. We have qualitative data and quantitative data. So when it comes to quantitative data, we have both continuous and discrete. Because if you ask me to give you an example of quantitative data, I can say age, temperature, height, length. So you see, I said age, and age is discrete. I said temperature is continuous. But then when we count variable, that's where we are breaking them down into two. That okay, under quantitative data, we have those that are measured and those that are what? Counted. You get it? So that is it, please. All right. Now I think we've clearly understood this thing very well. Okay. Now from here, let's move on to I think for the frequency distribution table, I don't know if I can use my math to explain to you, but then I think it will be very, very something if I'm using my math to explain the frequency. But as I said, on this same channel, I have videos, simple videos as I'm doing here. With an example, that one I was working on a marker board with example, and I think those videos is very helpful if you go over them, because I think you really get the concept very well, because I explain as I'm doing here with plenty examples, and some examples are even solved on the marker board. Okay, so I'll do that. But I think one aspect that and listen, so you see, one funny thing about statistics. It's like if you know the concept, you can answer about 5 questions under. So you see the statistical questions comes under a preamble. They can give you one preamble, and under that preamble, you have like 5 questions under it. So if let's say let's say for instance, under a box and Whisker plot, okay. So oh yeah, Ima, that one is very true. But then I believe if you watch my videos on the marker board, as I said, you really get it. I know how I do my videos. I know, I put myself in like more of empathy, so I put myself in students' shoes. So I calm down with vivid example for them to get the concept. Like for instance, the videos I did on permutation and combinations, as someone was asking earlier on. So if you want to know the real difference between permutations and combination, there's a video on this same channel. You can watch them with plenty of examples. As I said, you see, I like example because example will help you understand the concept. Okay, so that is it. Now I was talking about the frequency, that with the frequency, you see, I can't use my mouth to teach you, because I can say class intervals, class boundaries, you see, maybe variable or variance and the rest, but unless I solve it on a blackboard or on a marker board. So maybe Joseph, let's say Hadari will, Benjamin will try and arrange an in-person tutorial, so I'll come. I would love to meet you guys in person so that I'll delve into it for you to understand. Okay, so I'll gladly do that. We will find time and do that. But then there's one thing I want you to know, that your statistics tutorial, your statistics end of sem will come with preambles. Okay, and even the most reason why I want us to meet is on the probability. Yes, probability. I think that one we have to meet in person for me to really take you guys through. Okay, on the probability. But then before we even meet in person, let me use like some few minutes to just give you a brief about probability. Okay, so you see, under probability, there are some things that you should know. When we say probability, we have probability experiments. Okay, so you should know the difference between a sample space and also a trial and an outcome. So there's a difference between a trial, an outcome, and a sample space. Okay, so when we say a trial is when someone is doing a probability experiment. That is what a trial. And when we say an outcome is the results of what? Of a single trial. So the results of a single trial is called an outcome. I didn't come with a coin. Okay, I don't have coin with me. Okay, so let's say I have a coin with me. Okay, so if you have the coin with you, and you toss the coin, the result that will come is called an outcome. Okay, it's an outcome, and that is it. So the results of a single trial is called an outcome. The results of a single trial is called an outcome. Okay, and the results of 2 or more trials. Okay, so when we do 2 or more trials, the result that comes is called an event. So there's a difference between events and outcome. If I have a coin in my palm, if I toss it once, what comes is called an outcome. But then if I toss the coin multiple times, the result that I obtain is called an event. Okay, and also under probability, we have what we call a sample space. Okay, a sample space. So a sample space is the results of all the possible outcomes in a probability experiment. So the results of all the possible outcomes in a probability experiment is called a sample space. So if I have a coin has 2 sample space. Why? Because if I toss the coin, it's either I get a head or a tail. So the sample space of a coin is 2. It's just 2. the head and the tail. So the results of all the possible outcomes in a probability experiment is called a sample space. So the sample space of a coin is only two. That's the head and the tail. Now, if I have a die or a dice, okay, if I toss the dice only once, what comes is called an outcome. So the results of a single trial is called an outcome. The results of two or more trials is called an event. And the results or the outcome of all the possible outcomes, okay, the results of all the possible outcomes in a probability experiment is called a sample space. If I take the die or the dice, if I toss, I can get 1, I can get 2, I can get 3, up to 6. So it means that the sample space of a dice is 6. Okay, the sample space of a dice is 6. Now, that's one key thing that you should know about probability. With probability, we always deal with the sample space. So if, let's say, I have a coin, and let's say I ask you, what's the probability of me getting a head when I toss the coin? Then you say 1. If you write 1, you are wrong. Why? Because probability experiment deals with sample space. So if I ask you, I have a coin, if I toss it once, the chance of me getting the head is what? Is 1 on 2, where the 2 is the sample space of the coin. So if you toss a coin, you can either get a head or a tail. Now we count them. So 1, 2. So head and tail, 1, 2. So it means that the sample space of the coin is 2. So if I toss the coin, the chance of me getting the head is 1 on the sample space, that is 2. So 1 on 2. If I have a dice, the chance of me getting a 3 is 1 on 6. And listen, this one, it always confuses students. That let's say you have a dice in your palm and you toss or you roll the dice. What's the probability of you getting a 2? Then they will write 2 on 6. You are wrong. The chance of you getting 1 in the dice is 1. The chance of you getting 2 in the dice is 1. So if I have the dice in my palm, if I toss it, the chance of me getting any of the numbers is 1, not that number. So the chance of me getting 1 is 1. The chance of me getting 6 is 1, not 6. Because let's say I have the dice. I think we have to meet in person. If I have the dice with me, if I roll the die, the chance also rolling now. Okay, so now let me give you the example. Is it those of us who like glued? You see, before you can start playing the lute, you have to first of all play a 6, because without the 6 you can't enter. Now you see, if you realize you can play unless you play 1 6 before you enter. So it means the chance of you getting a 6 is once, not 6, it's once. Because you can play several times, but you only need 1 6 to enter. So the chance of you getting any of the number is 1, not that number. Please, do you understand the scenario I'm trying to give here? Yeah, I feel okay. Please, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So I feel like, as I said, okay, I forgot. I had a die. I didn't bring it. See, I'm saying that. Listen. So let's say a student, you have a die with you. Maybe in exam, then they ask you. Now, a die is rolled once. A die is rolled once. What is the probability of you getting a 5? A die is rolled once. What's the probability of you getting a 5? So the probability of you getting a 5 is once, not 5. It's 1. As I said, as I give that scenario, see, before you can enter into a lute and play, you have to play 6. Someone can play, even some people can enter and go around now and come and complete. They will not enter because they've still not played the 6. So the chance of you playing the 6 or getting the 6 is once. It will only take a 1 trial for you to get a 6. So if you are asked, the chance or the probability of you getting a 3 is 1. The probability of you getting a 2 is 1. The probability of you getting 1 is 1. Because let's say now you've entered your home. You are at the far end. You need 1 to enter to go home. Now you see, you can play 5, you can play 6, you can play, but you only need 1 row that will come once for you to complete. And that's just a single trial. So the chance of you getting any number on the die is 1, not that number. Please, do you understand what I'm trying to say? Please, do you get me now? How about a die roll twice? Okay, so Joycelyn, that is a different. You see, this is. I just want us to start the let's say the initial ones. Okay, this is also another one. As I said, with these questions, I want us to let's say meet in person. Okay, so when we meet in person, I feel like we can dwell more on that. Okay. Yeah, so I think, as I said, me with statistics, I want to meet you guys in person, because I think if you meet in person, you really understand. Even though I know you guys are getting what I'm trying to say small, but I know it's not that much. So I want us to meet in person. Exam is just near. So when we meet in person, then I can have time to teach you guys for you to understand. Okay, yes. So I'll teach you. We will solve more examples, and trust me, I know you can go as you go into or you enter the exam hall. I know every probability question you answer, because I feel like probability. We have types of probability. We have the empirical probability. We have the classical. Are you okay? Yes, probability, and all these they all have their own way of solving them. So I think if we meet, I'll teach you guys, because some deals with sample space, some also don't deal with sample space. Yes, so we have a way of solving them judiciously. So I feel like we have to meet in person. So yeah, so when we meet, we will discuss your missing as well. Okay, we will discuss your missing as well. Yeah. Because I think we have to discuss that, then we'll build upon that and go. All right. Yeah. So I think I don't want us to be mad. I think even we didn't meet for long, but if at least understood something small, yeah. So I want us to have another time, maybe yeah, probably. I think maybe it has to be on weekend or something like that, so that it can favor everybody. Yeah, I'm very hopeful on that. Yeah. So so once again, I think we'll end here for now, because I think the time is almost due. Today I'm very exhausted. You can even see from my eye, but I still have time to meet you guys. Yeah. So as I said, my name is Manuel. Yeah. So Manuel is my name, and I am an MPhil graduate. Yeah. So I'm done with my masters, and I'm currently at the Department of Sociology and Social Work, where I work with the HOD. Yes, as a postgraduate teaching and research assistant. So I work with the master's students. Yes. So let me see, TA at the master's level, something like that, so that you guys will understand. Yeah. So I currently work with the HOD, that is Professor Esmeralda Manfo. Yes. So she's the HOD for the Department of Sociology and Social Work, where I work with her. Yes, as a postgraduate research and teaching assistant. So yeah, Manuel is my name. I don't want to talk plenty, so let's end here. I'm really expectant to meet you guys in person, so we can do more. I know even though this is online, but you do appreciate it. Yeah, so please, before you exit, kindly make sure you subscribe to the channel, okay, and kindly like the session as well. And as I said, this session came successful. You need my number. Okay, so you can test. I say I can't put my number here. You can test Benjamin. Okay, Benjamin will give my number to you guys. Okay, yeah. So we are privileged for this session because of Seydou Kadari Benjamin. So because of Benjamin that we are all here. So please, let's all make sure when the time is due for us to also show love to him. We also show love to him. Are you okay? All right. Okay. So yeah, someone say I should help. So see here, I have more videos on everything, and if you really like my approach of teaching as I'm doing here with you guys, And if you watch my video, trust me, you understand all the concepts. You can check the channel. I have video from the start to where you guys have gotten to. Every video is there. You can access those videos, and trust me, it will be great. Okay. Yes, I'll put them. Will you put videos on this channel? Yeah, there are videos on this channel. There are about, I think, more than 15 videos on every element. And you see me, my video is different. Yeah, me, my video, you see me teaching, like face to face. You see me teaching, working example, explaining as I'm doing here with you guys. You get it? So that's my approach to teaching. Yeah. So okay. So I am under the Department of Sociology and Social Work. Yeah. But I'm sure with the first year you haven't seen me, and I know you know Professor Esmeralda Manfo, the lecturer who teaches you guys, I think, social policy. I haven't come to your class because I'm working on something, so I didn't have time to come to class with her. Yeah. So okay, we don't know Benjamin. Okay, I think Benjamin is the one who has just tested that. Please kindly partake in the poll vote, something like that. Yeah. So please, young, you gangster pa why? But you gangster. Okay, so Benjamin will access you guys on your page. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I think I won't comment on that one. I will end it here. Okay. So please, thank you guys thank you very much for your time. As I said, we happen to be here because of Said Kadari Benjamin. So because of Benjamin who made this successful. So please, let's thank him very much for this opportunity given to us. Yeah. So I think I will exit now. So thank you guys very much for your time. I'm very privileged to meet you guys, and I'm very expectant to meet you in person so that we can do more. Okay. All right. So please, bye bye.